Welcome! Here's what I'll be using on today's 11 by 14 inch hardboard canvas. If you want to use the same papers and stencils I'm using, you can click on the PayHip link below to purchase my digital download files. This will give you instant access to my supply list, cut files, and printables. Of course, you don't need to purchase these. Feel free to use any stencils you already have, or you can paint or draw your own designs. I like to use a hardboard canvas for my art, as it will easily take anything I throw at it. Plus, I can just pop it into any standard size picture frame when I'm done. But you can use whatever kind of canvas or material base you prefer. So let's get started. First, I'm going to put some green out on my canvas and start moving it around. I believe this is my marsh green, which is my favorite green. I started out with a sponge here, but I'm going to quickly move to using my fingers. I'm making my marsh green a little bit darker with a little bit of dark gray there. Now I'm getting into the fun with my fingers and just putting some, swiping it on here and there, getting in there with my khaki and my golden sunset. I was originally making art kits and selling them on Etsy, so that's what this video was to begin with, and that's why you see me talking a lot with my hands. It was a much longer video. Anyways, I'm adding some different colors in and just playing and enjoying myself here until I get it like I want it, using my heat tool to dry it so I can add some more paint. I'll just keep going here and there, having fun until I get it just like I want it. Now I'm going to take my dauber, which is what I call it. It's a clothespin with a makeup sponge with about a ½ inch at the end, a little bit less. And that's what I use to stencil with. I like to have 2 paper towels off to the side. I take a little paint on my dauber and then I tamp it off on another surface, and then I go in on my stencil, and that way I make sure that I don't have gobs of paint going underneath and making a mess. The paper towels keep me from transferring paint back and forth. So I'm getting just a little bit of my dark gray so that these flowers look like they're more in the background. I like to turn my stencil forward and back and move it around so that I've got flowers at different locations. I'm going to pick up a little dark gray, put it on top. Don't just have one color, kind of mix it up a little bit. I like how it's coming together. Now I'm going to take my liner brush and fill in all those little stencil marks. I could have taken my stencil and just moved it up and down a little bit and then stenciled over these spots, but I guess I didn't think about it at the time. Now I'm ready to start doing my grass. Again, I'm going to do mix, but I'm going to start out with the darker green. think I said dark gray earlier. I meant dark green. Now that I think about it. Now I'm going to flip my stencil over so the grass is going the other direction, and I'm going to come in with my green and put that on top. Give it another layer. I'm going to go get a little of that dark green and work it in here and there. Not going crazy with it, just to add a little bit more texture and dimension. Now I'm taking my medium round brush and the dark green, and I'm just going to go around the edges to finish off the edge nicely. And then I'm just going to give up on the brush and just start using my fingers, which is what I always do. So it's kind of funny that I started out with a brush. Now I want to add some paint to my flowers. And so I'm going to mix up a lighter purple and a little magenta, some white. Now I'm getting ready to use my high-tech tool, my clothespin with a cotton ball. I make sure I don't have very much on there because I don't want to glub it on. I want to just gently go through and kiss the flowers here and there. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing with the magenta. Too much paint and just kiss it all over here and there. I don't know what happened here with my camera, why it changed to blurry. I didn't touch anything. I'm very frustrated and I'm so sorry about that. But I'm taking my toothpick and going in and actually taking quite a bit of paint because I want all different sizes of dots for the center of my flowers. I'm going to take my greens, a little bit of dark, a little bit of lighter green here and there, and do my stems. I'm so sorry about the blurriness. I'm very frustrated with it. I'm going to use the cardstock that I cut my flowers out with as my stencil now. Now I'm going to line up my paper stencil, put my finger in the middle, and tweak it just a little bit so that we can paint on one layer and make our flower look even fuller. I'm going to use my dauber. I'm going to try to make sure that I don't get too far down on the stem because that will look weird. Getting a little bit of my purple and my dark gray And this is my background color that we're going to do. But I'm going to turn it again and hit it with another layer. This time just the purple. And voila! See how pretty? Or at least I think it is. I hope you do. Not exactly sure what I'm saying here. All right, now we're ready to do our medium flower. Gonna line it up where I know the paper flower is gonna be decoupaged on. Turn my stencil a little bit. Ready to go. The paper soaks up a little paint too, so takes a little bit more than it normally would if I were using a regular stencil. It's time to decoupage. I like to put some down, then put my flower down, and now I'm going to gently smoosh out all my little arms there. Use my toothpick if I need to help me out, straightening out. I want to be very gentle. I don't want to tear anybody off, but if I do, I can just stick on it, put a little Mod Podge on top. I'm a huge fan of Mod Podge. But I do like to add a little bit water to it. I like the consistency better when it's just a little bit thinner. Smushing and covering. This cardstock is very thick, so it takes a little bit extra work. Get it to lay down and be where I want it. Sure gives this canvas a nice texture. I don't like brush strokes in my Mod Podge either, so you'll always see me tapping down on top of it when I'm done to make sure that I don't have any brush strokes. Sometimes I use baby wipes. I don't know if I can't remember if I'm going to do that today or not. Now I'm going to go over the entire canvas, but I'm going to pat it on carefully so I don't mess up my flowers. But I want my canvas to have the same texture all over. Mod Podge is also a really good sealer. I find that it does not yellow over time and it really holds up for many, many years. Aha, I'm going to use a wadded up paper towel today. I like to do this because it gives my canvas a nice texture, but it helps remove some of the globby spots so that it dries a little bit quicker. It just looks nicer. Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. If you're interested in purchasing my stencil cut files, you can click on the PayHip link below the video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'd also love to hear from you if you want to leave me a comment. If you hit the bell button, YouTube will notify you each time I add a new video. Until next time.